Back in God's country for another scratch out on Dead Horse Gully, where we found some beautiful seam last trip. Going to see if we can't scratch up a little bit more with a couple of plugs. This ground is bloody hard, and normally when I'm putting a shot under some trace like this, I'll check the dirt coming out of the hole to make sure there's no traces in it, to indicate that I might be blowing the crap out of some nice opal. Unfortunately, in this instance, I forgot to check it completely. After each shot, ideally, we go in and we clean it up because it shakes up the ground quite a bit and leaves loose stuff. It can be quite dangerous. More walls kill people than ceilings, generally speaking, so we clean it up before we check the trace to see what's going on. Now, if I was on the ball and I checked the dirt coming out of the hole, as I'm supposed to, this is what I would have seen because it was on the ground underneath it. And in the next clip you're going to hear me saying there's no way of knowing, I had no way of knowing. Well, I bloody well did have a way of knowing. Blasted up in here, no way of knowing. The level's up here in the roof, so I shot under it and there's no way of knowing that this was running. That was solid opal, some description. Look at this. This is a pocket that used to be all shells. Oh my god, and it's absolutely powder. Look at that, it was all crystal as well. It was, once upon a time, like about half an hour ago, crystal shells, and now it's absolutely dust. I love-hate explosives. This all used to be opal, and now it's powder. Oh my goodness. Busted and disgusted. I drove past an old claim from years ago and I thought, man, this place still stinks of opal. But I decided to get back to Adelaide and lick my wounds. But in the morning, the coffee, the sunrise, new energy, new hope, I thought, stuff it, getting out there, get down there, see what I can round up in that old claim that reeks so much of beautiful crystal. I was down this hole about 20 years ago, and in this hole, I found about $7,000, which was a good little find back then. I mostly just checked it with explosives and with a pick, but I never chased it much with the jack pick, so I was chasing all the skinny trace around this claim, which there was little bits and pieces, but every now and then it makes a blob, which is typical for Dead Horse, so I thought I'd get in there and chase it as hard as I can with the jack pick. Dug out this about 20 years ago, come in here today, and all the opal, this is beautiful colour, running right there, all at the top, didn't see it at all. Colour there, colour there, colour there, and that was where I finished 20 years ago. Oh man. Typical story in this claim, not much material, but when it makes little blobs, they're quite nice opal, as you can see here, and beautiful colour. Bloody Dead Horse. At the end of the longest drive, up in the roof, they've driven under the level, right at the end, past the end of the longest drive. Oh my goodness, decent, kind of skinny, but still. Once again, pretty small material, but beautiful, clean crystal and good cutting gear. Only makes little stones, but boy, they're delicious. And plates of potch, which happens down the bottom, and then when it goes up into the snare, this is on the right at the end. This starts running, nearly cuttable stuff too, right, for that pockets. And that's where that green stuff was on the end of the drive. This is really interesting ground. Could be a fatty. And by some small miracle, we got a couple of beautiful red stones like this, and we've gone from completely busted and disgusted and ready to go back to Adelaide to digging out some of the most beautiful opal I've seen for a long time. 10 hours jack picking or so probably yielded about, I don't know, maybe we would have had to pay $7,000 or something if we could find a parcel like this on the field that had a few stones like this and absolutely crazy crystal.